Hi everyone, my name is Leslie, also known as aquagem_art online, and this is my husband.
Yeah, how's it going? Once again, this is Brian.
And welcome to week 18 of our hashtag 42 by 42, where Brian and I try and lose 42 pounds by the time we turn 42 next year. As part of that journey, we are enrolled as patient ambassadors in the Medical Weight Management Center of Canada 6-month program in exchange for making these vlogs. So this week I wanted to talk a little bit about something that happened recently with a family member when we had gone up to the cottage and we had brought some snacks and treats and stuff for the family, and on the Saturday night we kind of brought them all out, and this friend said to us, like, well, I thought you were making those videos. And we said, yeah, we are. And then they said, well, you don't seem to have changed your eating habits very much. And it occurred to me that they maybe thought that we were on some sort of diet. And I said as much. I said, well, we're not on a diet. Like, that's not how this program works. So I kind of wanted to take this week and explain a bit more, just in case anyone else thought that that was the case. The Medical Weight Management Center is not a diet regime. It does not involve restricting or limiting or cutting out or any sort of major changes that a lot of diets do, because what they found through studies is that most diets don't work long term. People tend to lose weight, which this has been my experience before. You lose weight while on it, and then because you cannot maintain whatever level of involvement it is, whether it's completely cutting out something or diving into a gym membership or whatever it is, our lives change, and most diets are not maintainable for long term. So the goal of the Medical Weight Management Center of Canada with this program was to recognize that, one, obesity is a disease that deserves treatment. Two, that treatment is incredibly individual. What works for me will not necessarily work for you. What works for you will not necessarily work for me, which is why we have our own dietitians and our own meetings with our physicians. And three, that it's a combination program of cognitive behavior therapy, medication, possibly, and other tools and resources that can be modified or individualized as much as possible. So really it's about putting us on this journey that helps us to make small incremental changes in our lives that are maintainable, because they are so small, because it's little steps that it's not huge changes. Therefore it's more sustainable long term, because we're not only changing our behaviors around food, we're also changing the way we think about our bodies, our minds, our food and activity and movement and all of those things. So it really is sort of a whole approach to obesity and how people can deal with it. And I think that's a big difference, because certainly for me, I don't feel like I've had to give anything up in that sense. I've talked about in the past how I have a lot of social cues around food, and I enjoy going out for dinner with friends or traveling or trying new things, you know what I mean? So I was not really willing to give that up, and they understood that. because nothing is going to work for me if I have to give that up. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So instead, we looked at my thinking, how within those parameters we can make small changes that are reasonable and doable and actionable for me. What about for you? Like the individual things for you were things like,
Yeah, for me, definitely meeting with my registered dietitian. Overall, I think he does about 8 meetings in total during the course of 6 months. So for me, what we mostly discuss would be, figure out my high risk times and making just small changes so I can avoid cravings at a certain time. Like for me, I've always had cravings maybe after dinner was when high risk times, go treats, go to store. But over the last, few months, I've found that my cravings have been right after work. So as you recommended, like some small little changes in order to avoid high risk cravings, high risk times. And one of those examples is actually just having a bit of an earlier dinner where the cravings are not as bad.
Yeah. And again, like moving dinner up by 20 minutes, half an hour is not that huge of a change. But it's made a difference, So, we just wanted to clarify that about the program and, if there's any misconceptions about it being sort of a diet. It's more about lifestyle changes and just helping you figure out what works for you, and also not having, like, we've obviously set a goal, although we set that before we got on the program. I still don't know how realistic that goal is, but to not have a certain number or weight in mind for yourself, because what they teach or what they tell us is that your best weight is what is maintainable and sustainable for you, because it's very hard on your body and your hormones for your weight to kind of go up and down a lot. So you're much better, losing and plateauing somewhere than you are on that sort of weight roller coaster. I think that's everything we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I also my additional comment there, I guess I've found that we didn't have to change that much, but for both of us we actually have lost some weight. For me, I've dropped about 14 pounds so far. So
I've lost over 10 now, I think. It doesn't feel like we've had to make any major changes in our lives. Like it almost feels, it's almost like we're not noticing it. You know what I mean? I'm not even noticing that I'm not as hungry or not craving as much or not snacking as much or things like that. So it doesn't feel like we've given anything up in that sense. So it's really helped. So that's it. Join us again next week. If you want to check out the rest of our videos, there's a playlist down below, and I think it's linked in the video as well. More information on my social media is down below, and also if you want to check out the Medical Weight Management Center of Canada, the website is down below as well. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them, and we would love to read and reply. And join us again next week. I don't know what we're going to do next week. We'll see. Week 19. So we're nearly at 5 months. Yeah. Nearly. Since we started this. Wow. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's already cool.
That's what I mean. The time goes by fast and we haven't really felt like we've done that much in that sense, but we've come a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you so much, everybody. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.